Of course, I read the magazine 9 out of 10. Mom, I know what I want for Christmas. Hey, Sketch Gamer here, and welcome back if you've followed this before. This is just improvised game reviews by a casual game reviewer. We don't go too deep into anything, and every game we pick is based on the Book of Wisdom, which is basically a bunch of quotes over the course of history. So let's see, I'm going to pick a quote, we're going to see what that inspires for a game choice. Oh yeah, and today's console is going to be the Nintendo 64. Logistically speaking, it just makes sense. Okay, here we go. All Calm as It Was Bright by Henry Vaughn. Okay, I know exactly what that is.
Really?
All is calm as it was bright. I don't know why. Maybe to most people you're gonna be like, what the hell, why? But I'm thinking Wave Race 64.
Oh, I thought so too, because I thought of dolphin.
I thought of bright, I thought of sun, I thought of beaches, and yeah, it's not calm. You're gonna compete for races in this game. This game is gonna beat you down. You will probably never ever beat this game, I promise you. This is a very difficult game. I know because I've put a little bit of time into it. Anyways, Japanese cart. I picked this one up for, and look, I still got the sticker, 108 yen.
Wow.
That is crazy. You know what that is? That's, okay, for like in US, it's basically $1. If it's Canadian, we're talking $1 and change. Like
wow.
And there it is. This is an original launch title, by the way, for the N64. Came out when the console came out, as well as Mario 64 and Pilot Wings. Once again, I had a friend who had this game, and I borrowed it from him once in a while. I rented it a few times from Blockbuster. Was never great at it. Always bright. First time I played it was at my friend's house. His name was Brian. He was Vietnamese. He was a cool dude. We used to play a lot of video games at his house, my house, and yeah, so I came over to his house, I think it was his birthday, and somebody had brought Wave Race, and it was on the TV. He had always the best TVs, because his dad was a TV repairman, so obviously he had the best TV. And I saw the water, and I was convinced that it was real. Mind you, I was a kid, but like, I'd never seen it. Look at this. Have you ever seen, this is 1996, guys. Prior to 96, there was no games like this on any console for Nintendo. So I thought, like, the water looked real. You think this water's real. The music's awesome. Oh no, the game froze. See, that's what happens, guys, when you pay 108 yen for a game at a second-hand store. But we're gonna give it a second shot. Maybe it's like a sign that we shouldn't be doing this review. Like, Wave Race is not worth it.
What?
Anyways,
Why would you say that?
I don't know. You don't know what these signs mean. Okay. Isn't this music just awesome?
Why? I don't find it that
No?
special. No?
This music gets me hyped up, man.
Really?
Yeah. You know, if I was gonna go to the club tonight, this is the song I would play before I leave to go to the club. Welcome to Wave Race 64. They're the best. They're. Oh, you almost did it. You know. 64. They always said 64. Are they right? I don't know, but let's see what they have to say. So, released September of '96 in Japan, and November of '96 in the US.
Can you turn the music down?
Yeah, it is hella loud. Probably got some complaints already. I just get too into these reviews sometimes. You know what? This is now my third run at it.
Maybe you should rethink doing fun fact.
But that's part of the mystery and fun of fun facts. You never know what you're gonna get here. So why don't we just go? I've said this before. I think it's a good way to go. Let's talk about the reception at the time, right? What did people think of Wave Race back in '96? I was impressed, but I was a kid. So let's see what everybody else was saying. It was a critical and commercial success, selling more than 154,000 units in Japan by December of '96, and more than 1 million units in the United States in December of '97. The game, by December, it sold 1.95 million copies. Graphically praised. N64 magazine journalists described Wave Race 64 as one of the deepest racing games they had played, stating that the game's dynamic waves constantly test and retest the player's control. I agree with that. If you're playing this game and you hit these waves, that's why it's going to beat you down. This game will beat you down. You will probably never beat it. I really mean that. This game is so difficult. This game is incredibly difficult. You have to place like first place, like after race. You can't miss the, whatever you call them, the left and right beacons. You got to go around these things. And if you don't do that, you lose. Easy, you lose. You will never beat this game. It's very difficult. Wow. Good luck. Anyways, it was very highly regarded. It's apparently ranked 33rd on a list of top 100 games of all time. So I think my feeling as a kid was pretty accurate. I thought this game was incredible. One thing we should mention, for Wave Race fans out there, is that this is a series. This is a franchise. This is not the first Wave Race game. So I want to talk a little bit about the history of Wave Race. But there are other Wave Race games on other Nintendo platforms. I think there was one on the NES or Game Boy. There's a shot of it there, Wave Race. I'm trying to see if this was the first one. It's the first game in the Wave Race series. So there you go. It started from humble beginnings on that Game Boy. And now it's become this. Nintendo usually had, like, they had multiple franchises. You had Mario, you had Wave Race, Yoshi had a few different titles. They kept bringing them back. Star Fox, Smash Brothers, they brought all the characters together. Zelda, how can we forget Zelda? F-Zero, another fantastic game. I grew up with those franchises, those titles, so yeah.
That's funny.
Alright, so let's jump into this. Obviously, again, this is in Japanese, but you know what? If you're tenacious and you're willing to make a few mistakes, you'll figure out what all these things mean. I believe the first one says training, and then the second one says single player.
Nope.
Oh no.
No.
What does it say?
The first one's normal.
Oh, okay.
The second one is hard. The last one is expert.
Okay, so I was a little bit off there.
A little bit.
That's my bad. Training, now this is training, and this is single player.
Yeah, warm up and race.
Okay, so I was 1 for 2, 50%. Here is where you pick your racer, the technical aspects of the vehicle. You can adjust like the weight and so on and so forth to make it faster or blah blah blah. So you can adjust those with each character. I'm not an expert on this game. Again, I'm a casual retro gamer, but all I know is that if you adjust these, I'm casual,
This is not.
I'm casual. I'm a casual retro game reviewer. I don't go into specific details because I don't have them. There are specific games that I know. This is me pulling a random game out of the shelf. So, you know, cut me some slack here.
Did you always have a color you always picked or anything like that? Like, did you always go for blue or?
I liked black, green, yellow.
Oh,
why is that funny? That's the colors of Jamaica, isn't it? Yeah.
No, well, it's gold.
Well, gold, right, but we only had yellow. So, if you do it right, look, I got a power up already. If you just time it perfectly. I remember in this game you had to let go of the gas a lot, cutting the corners. The first level is obviously really easy. The difficulties come much later. And then you'll give up, trust me.
What do you mean the difficulties?
Like, the turns are just so crazy and the computer's so hard, you won't come in first place. At least, not the first time. You'll have to try it over and over. But yeah, if you look at the water here, like, I just had a seagull almost in me.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if I can change my view here. Yeah. Bring it in nice and close.
Does this game have dolphins in it?
It does. And there's a secret a way to unlock the dolphin. Yeah, but oh no, I missed. No problem. Okay. Those are the famous announcers of waivers. Cool song again. I love this music.
I never really paid attention.
Am I at a Japanese grocery store?
Yeah, tell us one memory of Japan since...
Honestly, every store you walk, it feels like every store you walk into has some sort of theme song, like a specific jingle theme song for that store, and something along these lines, like, and then they would have some voiceovers that I obviously don't understand, but they would come across something like, and like just, everything's so bright, you feel like you're in a casino, there's just lights, and everybody's just so excited. That's what every store, it feels like in Japan, a grocery store is like...
Tokyo, right?
In Tokyo, yeah. And it's just loud music, it actually gets to you. Like honestly, at the end of the day, after shopping around in Tokyo, at the end of the day, I got like a huge headache. And I don't get headaches. Like it's just like music, lights, motion. Fit in a line, squeeze yourself in there, you know. You know, you can't, especially when you're navigating the metro, the subway, you can't stop.
Yeah.
You can't just stop and think. You can't do that. No. Yeah. So I should probably rank this game. I don't want to be influenced by what I saw online. I know they said, like, at the time, 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10. But let's be honest. A lot of these critics have been, you know, they've received some gifts for giving some good rankings. Absolutely. Anytime you read a review online, you have to look at it with an objective mind, just like a movie. For example, I love comedy movies, and when I look them up on what the reviews are online, they're like 5 out of 10. And okay, comedy is subjective, I get that, but I don't agree with that at all. Of course, I read the magazine, 9 out of 10. Mom, I know what I want for Christmas. Waiver is 64. So honestly, it's a great game. For its time, I think it did deserve probably an 8. But I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8 because it is a good game. And considering what was out at that time, it stood alone. But the graphics are amazing. It's just not Mario 64, you know what I mean? If you're not Mario 64...
What? That's not fair.
I know it's not fair, but these games came out at the same time. So, based, like, literally at the same time. So, 8 out of 10. Great game. You should have it in your collection. Definitely. Alright, Sketch Gamer. Thank you for watching.